evening, and I welcome you to your transformative program, Politics and Beyond. My name is Emmanuel, Jr., the Chief Crusader Against Corruption here in Ghana, and your regular host. As I keep saying, there's no better platform you can have in this country when it comes to transforming the future of this country, not just for our benefit, but also for the benefit of our next generation. There's no better platform you can have other than this platform. And I'm making reference to your own platform, Politics and Beyond. Last week, if you recall, we started a conversation on how best to fight corruption. And we talked about using the proactive approach, because that indeed is the best way to fight corruption. If you've forgotten, I indicated that the proactive approach simply talks about preventing, other than using the reactive, which says that you need to wait for it to happen. And then after the occurrence of it, you now come out and make all the noises that you can talk of. In this coming weeks, we are concentrating a bit more on using the proactive approach in fighting corruption. And one key area to look out for has to do with the various institutions and agencies, and I'm making reference to the state institutions and agencies. And so our focus is going to be on the various institutions that we have. This evening, we are starting with one important institution. And you know, before I even go into that details, I just need you to appreciate that one sector that we have always been neglecting, and I'm making reference to the transport sector. It's really a key sector, especially if you want our economic activities to boom and to move on smoothly. You can't do without the transport system or the transport sector. Unfortunately, it looks like we are not giving so much attention to it. And so this evening, we are going to have a conversation on how best we can deliver an effective public transport system. And our focus is going to be on the MMT. I'll give you a brief background. We'll take a commercial break. We'll come back. I will introduce the guest, and then we'll zoom into the conversation. But in going through the background, if we can have, as we've been doing always, on the screen for us to go through some of the slides. Okay, so it looks like I wanted to go faster, but it looks like we are told to go for a break. So we are going to take a quick break, actually. And when we come back, as I indicated, the conversation is going to be centered on delivering an effective public transport system. MMT will be the focus, and I'm making reference to the Metro Mass Transit Limited. As always, you can get interactive with us using our WhatsApp line and also the social media platform that we have, or the handles that will be exhibited on the screen. Stay tuned. I'll be right back, and then we zoom straight into the conversation. I'll be right back.
Ifa kura na menyisika edia ye mefui.
Ehifa pa na menya bosia edia tre medjuma yimu.
Kai kura mabre miye bosia ato taxi foforo. Suhum Rural Bank.
Suhum Rural Bank.
Yemamwa kwa baba Suhum Rural Bank. Ye won hyehyɛ ahodo bi te sɛ dwadefo abosia, ekokro bosia, susu account, and it so wɔ hɔ savings account, me bada chain savings account, and the akeka ho. Suhum Rural Bank was 03422919896. Na won so wetumi aka sɛ
Suhum Rural Bank ama ene mayeka ona.
Suhum Rural Bank enti me pa minie.
Suhum Rural Bank, growing our heritage.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. natural mineral water. Simply natural. For bulk purchase, call 0596 273 546 or 0596 273 547. This advert is FDA approved.
Welcome to AutoCheck Vehicle Diagnostic and Licensing Center.
I hear my car can be checked here without going to Accra.
Sure.
Emission, check.
Alignment, check.
Brakes, check.
Visit AutoChecks at Koforidua Aquadum Road for the roadworthiness of your vehicle, from saloon cars to heavy-duty industrial vehicles. Madam, your car is now ready for the road.
Thank you so much. Auto checks. Check.
AutoChecks, your safety, our priority.
Ghana, get ready to win big and live large with Mega Cash Lucky Box, the game where you could walk away with instant cash prizes. It's easy to play. Just dial *426*5# on all networks. Follow the prompt, pick a lucky box and reveal your cash prize. It's that simple. Win massive, up to 500,000 Ghana cedis. Don't miss your chance. Players all over Ghana are winning now.
I won!
What are you waiting for? Dial *426*5# or visit www.megacashluckybox.com and play on our web portal. The minimum to play is 5 Ghana cedis. Your lucky box could be holding that big cash prize. Mega Cash Lucky Box. Dial *426*5# and win instant cash today. Don't wait. Remember, terms and conditions apply and is NLA approved on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Welcome back. So as I indicated before we went on the commercial break, we are going to have a conversation on the transport system that we have in this country. And when we talk about the transport system, obviously we have the private sector and we also have the public transport sector. But this evening's conversation is going to be centered on the public sector transportation. And so the theme or the topic that we are discussing this evening has to do with delivering an effective public transport system. And our focus is going to be on the Metro Mass Transit. I want to give you a background to this conversation, or to us focusing on the public transport system. Ghana's system actually started way back, and indeed, just as it is in almost all jurisdictions, even it predates to pre-colonial stage, and I'm making reference to the 1957, the pre-1957 stage, where we had the vehicles, or we had our transport system being dominated largely by train systems. So we had the Gold Coast Railways. We also had the horse-drawn carts. I mean, in the olden days, in particularly urban centers like Accra and Kumasi, we also had trucks and we had lorries. But prior to the 1957 era, it was largely dominated by train. Then came the post-independence, and post-independence means after independence. So from 57 to 1960, we also had where the government established the Ghana Railway Corporation for intercity transport. We also had some buses being imported to connect major cities like Accra, Kumasi, Takoradi, Cape Coast. And then came also the informal private transport operators. And that is what really ended up, to date, we're referring to it as the trotro system, From there, we moved to the 1960s. So we had also the 1960s to the 1970s era, where we will, define it as the expansion and the state control era. So this is where we brought in, or the states brought in, what we often refer to as the omnibus service. But it is actually the Ghana Omnibus Services, GOS. It was set up as a state-owned, bus service to provide urban and intercity transportation. So we had that. It came in between the 1960s and the 1970s. Buses became more common in Accra, in Kumasi, and also in Tema. Obviously, it came up with its own challenges. And the interesting thing is that the challenge that started from 1960 to 1970, when we introduced the GOS, those challenges still exist as far as the public sector or public transport system is concerned. And we'll be dwelling a bit more on that. It has to do with poor fleet maintenance. It has to do with rising operational costs. And it also has to do with inadequate coverage in the rural areas. But after that, we came to the 1980s. This era saw the decline of state services and the rise of informal transportation. So the private sector took over, Trotro came over and all that. But yes, the reason why there was a decline, reasonably so, if you look at the 1980s, that was when we had the coup d'etats and all that. So there was, economic hardship, political instability, and all of this reduced government capacity to maintain public buses. So that also came into being. But after the 80s came the 1990s and then the 2000s, where we had the liberalization and formalization efforts, where government's liberalization allowed private transport operators to expand rapidly. So we had the, GP, RTU, and all those transportation, private transportation organizations coming into being. Trotros and taxi services dominated urban and intercity transport. And then we also had a government who exploring formal mass transit systems. So that is also what came into being. But right after that, we then, during that era, moving into the 2003, the government thought it wise that we should find a way of bringing back the public sector or the public transport system. So Metro Mass Transit was born. It was established. And so this is what we refer to as the MMT, Metro Mass Transit, or we call it the Metro Mass Transit Limited. That's the organization. It was incorporated in 2003 to provide modern state operated bus services across cities and towns. Its aim was to improve safety, reliability, and accountability while offering an affordable alternative to the Trotro system that we had. Of course, if you talk of public sector, anything public talks about affordability. And so that is what happens. Now, knowing very well that this evening our focus is on the MMT, I want us to focus on that a bit. And let's look at the focus. What was MMT established to focus on? And so you look at the first one, it talks about high capacity transit or transportation. It was designed to move large numbers of passengers quickly, particularly during peak hours. So that was the focus. The second one has to do with integration with other transit modes, connecting metro lines with buses, I don't think we even have trains anymore in this country, but so largely to have that connecting interconnectivity with metro line buses for seamless urban mobility. So that was also it. The other one had to do with safety and reliability. Emphasis on accident-free, punctual, and secure operations. That was also a focus. The other one has to do with sustainability, and the last one had to do with urban connectivity, connecting residential, commercial, and industrial zones to reduce travel times and improve accessibility. So if you look at it very well, these are the 5 main focus, among other things. That's why I use the word main. Focus of MMT, as was established in the year 2003. After looking at the focus, it is important for us to also look at the purpose. What is actually the purpose for the establishment? Why do we need a public transport system? The first one has to do with alleviation of traffic congestion. You bear with me that in major towns, urban areas, Greater Accra in particular, Kumasi, Takrade, I mean, most of these major towns and urban areas we have in this country, traffic has become an issue. You wake up in the morning, you have to be in a vehicle. Sometimes you spend about 3 hours before you get, or let's say 2 hours, before you even get to your office. Before you get to the office, you are already exhausted mentally. So MMT, one purpose was to alleviate traffic congestion. The other one has to do with providing reliable and fast transportation. Metro mass buses is supposed to, give us one, reliable, secondly, fast transportation. Those are the 2 key things revolving around that purpose. Then the other one is to promote environmental sustainability. Mass transit reduces carbon emissions. And that is very true, because if I am driving, my guest is driving, you are also driving, we are using 3 cars at the same time. But if we have a reliable mass transport system, the 3 of us will be in one vehicle. And so it reduces environmental sustainability. So it actually promotes environmental sustainability. And that is very, very important. The 4th one is to support urban economic growth. Efficient transit improves access to workplaces. And that is what I was saying earlier on. Markets and educational institutions. It boosts productivity and economic activity. People don't know, and I keep saying this, people don't know the the fact that you spend unreasonable hours in vehicles trying to go to the office, and how it drains you mentally, and how it has a negative effect even on your output when you go to the office. It has a linkage. So if we have a metro mass effective transportation system, this is one of the benefits, the purpose that it's supposed to achieve. The other one is that it encourages social inclusion. Metro systems are relatively affordable and accessible. It helps people from different income groups to travel safely and efficiently. That is key. And the very last one, but not the least, is the fact that it enhances urban planning and development. So metro stations often becomes hubs for commercial and residential development. It supports smart city initiatives. Now we've looked at the focus. We've looked at the purposes. It is very important for us to also look at the benefits in all of this. What benefits do we get if we are supposed to dwell on public transport system? Because that is very important. If there are no benefits, there's no need for us to, waste our time as a country spending the taxpayers' money building and rebuilding public transport systems. But yeah, there are benefits. The first one has to do with economic benefits. We have economic benefits, and under economic benefits, we are looking at cost savings, we are looking at increased productivity, we are looking at boosting of our local economy, we are looking at job creation. And when I talk of job creation, public transport systems require staff for operations. Those who are going to be in charge of maintenance, those who are going to be in charge of administration. So there's a chain when it comes to job creation. So that gives us the economic benefit when we are talking about public transport system. The second benefit, which is environmental benefit, is that it reduces pollution. What it also does is that it gives us energy efficiency. And then the third one under environmental is that it reduces, and that I have said earlier on, there's less traffic congestion. It decreases congestion, reduces idle times, and it also reduces or even eradicates wastage of fuel. It does. Because sometimes you see just one person, and I'm sure it happens to almost everyone who is driving. There are even times where you feel like you don't even want to drive. But because you can't rely on the public transport system, you are forced to do same. And so you find yourself traveling for probably an hour or just around an hour, and you are the only one in the vehicle. A vehicle that has a capacity of about 5 or 4. You are the only one in it. So when we have public transport system, one of the benefits and the environmental benefits is that yes, and the environmental benefit is that it is less, or it produces less traffic. Less traffic, and congestion also goes down. The other one, which has to do with social benefits, it increases mobility, it improves safety, and it also has what we call community connectivity. And with community connectivity, all that we are trying to talk about is that public transport links neighborhoods and promotes social interactions. So that is also one of the benefits, and that is under social benefits. Then we move to the other benefits, which has to do with urban and infrastructural benefits. Urban and infrastructural benefits. It reduces road wear. It encourages sustainable urban planning. And then it also creates efficient land use, because what it does is that less space is needed for parking lots and roads, and it frees land for parks, for housing, and for other things that we can talk of. I remember there was an incident some years back where a community were so angry and they went on rampage. They actually went on demonstration. What was the reason? The reason was very simple. A community, a land that has been earmarked, or the community was using for recreational purposes, it has ended up being used as a trotro station. And so the guys got angry. But if we have a public transport system, it creates an efficient land use. So that is also one benefit. Then we look at the last area of benefits, and that is the health benefits. And that's very, very important. The first one is that it promotes physical activity. Then the other one is that it improves air quality. I mean, you move out of urban areas, you go to some places, and that is something that all of us who have been traveling outside the urban, we've encountered one way or the other. You move to some locality and you're like, I am enjoying the air in this area. It is simply because the pollution is less compared to urban places. And so that is also the health benefit. Having given you this background, and before I even get to our guests for us to zoom into the various areas, as we always do, it is very important to solicit for your views, your comments, and even your questions if you have any. We are asking a simple question, and that is, how do we make government and public services profitable and efficient? In this instance, we have so many governments and public services, but our focus here is on public transport system. Most importantly, MMT, Metro Mass Transit. Share your answers and share your comments, your contributions through our WhatsApp line, as you've always been doing. And at the appropriate time, we are going to engage you through the comments and the various, even if it is question, your proposals that you've made. Collectively, we want to build a better country. Collectively, we want to build a greater future for our next generation, if not for our sake, as I keep saying. Our next generation shouldn't come and say that we have failed. We should lay the foundation for them. And that is what this platform is all about. This evening, we are super privileged to have with us someone I'll call a brother, my own brother, a friend. And I'm making reference to the Deputy Managing Director of Metro Mass Transit. This is someone who really understands what the transport system, especially the public transport system, is all about. And so if we are really into resetting and making sure that our public transport system is efficient and effective, he's one person that we need to help us in that lane. And I'm making reference to Mr. Harun Apau Redu. Senior, boss, welcome.
Many thanks.
I hope you are doing well.
Extremely well.
Nice, nice, nice. And how was your day?
Oh, not bad. It's really a very packed day.
I can imagine.
As you can see, for God and country.
Very well. We thank God. How is your boss doing? Your managing director?
Oh, my boss is doing extremely good.
Good.
Currently, he's also on a national mission up north. So we spoke not too long ago.
Okay.
But so far, so good.
Nice one. Yeah. Nice one. That is great. He is one person that my relationship with, goes way back, years back. And he's such a fantastic person. Wow. So I'm not surprised that the two of you have been paired and teamed up. I know the abilities of both of you. And we are very confident that there's going to be some transformation with MMT.
Sure.
If you look at the history of MMT, I think somewhere in 2007, 2008, MMT could boast of about 1,000 buses or so.
Sure.
My last check that I did suggests that MMT is currently running on less than 200 buses. If that is so, clearly there's a decline. And if we really want, looking at the benefits and all the background things that we've talked about, it is very key and important that we find a way of strengthening the public transport system. The question that I want to start our conversation with is that, what is the current state of MMT?
Well, let me use this much more bigger platform to say good evening to our cherished viewers and listeners, those watching and listening to us from afar.
Right.
I think, like you rightly said, Metromass evolved out of Omnibus Service Authority, USA. In 2003, an Act of Parliament, was enacted, and that law gave birth to the creation or the formation of Metromass. As you are aware already, former President Kufuor started Metromass with a bus fleet of about 500.
Okay.
Then the second NDC, that's here, North Mahama.
Right.
Spanning from 2009-2016, also augmented the fleet level of Metromass with additional 500 buses.
Okay.
So on record, from 2003 to 2016, Metromass was fleeting close to about 1,000 buses. At the time in Ghana, we had just about 10 regional capitals. We had just about 110 district capitals.
That's right.
As you are aware, with population growth and attrition of human movement from one point to the other, as well as expansion of our geography, has actually called for more routes to be created. Currently, as we speak, we have about 16 regional capitals. We have close to over 2,600 district capitals. At the time, you could just imagine what was Ghana's population. Today, we are doing close to over 35 million. So that should tell you that indeed, the pressure and demand on our public transports indeed will be huge and great. When NDC, the second part of NDC, exited power by January 7, 2017, the then MPP government, scrapped about or declared about 400 buses unserviceable. And those buses were scrapped.
Which year was that?
About that was January, after January 7.
Okay.
In fact, those transactions or those procurement or those auction sales happened shortly after 2017 when they took over.
Right.
Then again, the next part of auction sales happened just last year around March. And in March, they scrapped again about 313 buses.
The first one, how many did they scrap?
About 400 plus.
400 plus.
Yes.
Okay.
So now, around 2024, somewhere March, they scrapped about 313 buses. And they labeled those buses as unserviceable. Unfortunately for us as a country and a company, they told us from the books, the amount of money realized from the sale, they could only realize about 2.9 million Ghana cedis.
From the 400 and the 300?
No, just from the 313
From the 300 buses.
313 buses.
The amount again?
The amount realized after the sale or after the auction was 2.9 million Ghana cedis for scrapping or selling 313 buses. Wow. Shockingly, it was revealed by one of the persons and individuals who got the opportunity to be allocated with one or two of those buses.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he couldn't pick his own. And the transition or the change of government happened.
Yeah.
And, Ghanaians at the time rose up and said, no, they will not allow them to scrap and to cut those buses into pieces. And here I'm making reference to Kumasi, Amepo Junction.
Right.
If you checked, the actual transition happened January 7.
Sure.
And the people of Ghana gave President Mahama the mandate to rule. And you and I know that President Mahama cannot do it all by himself. He would definitely employ the services of you and I to help him manage or steer the affairs of some strategic state agencies and corporation. It is in the light of this that President Mahama extended an appointment to lawyer Kali Caesar.
Sure.
So between January 7 to first week of March, before lawyer Kali Caesar was appointed, there was a vacancy.
Sure.
So let me take you back a bit. When the actual sales was done, in 2016, the NDC government instituted a policy where, in the case where our buses go old, that we need to put those buses on sale, so to speak, auction.
Yeah.
The amount of money realized from the sale should be put into a dedicated account called bus acquisition account.
Okay.
So this bus acquisition account, we were expecting that the monies realized or the money realized from the sale of the 313 buses, which took place around March last year, should have been deposited into the bus acquisition account. Only for us to realize that between January 7 to first week of March, when lawyer Kali Caesar had not been appointed, there is that vacuum.
Sure.
So within that period, the old managing director was still at post. He did not hand over.
Okay.
So that money, which was deposited into the bus acquisition account, was heavily dissipated between January and February. Between February and March, so to speak.
Sure.
So the amount of money realized from the sale of the 313 buses,
which was the 2.9 million,
that money was heavily dissipated. So when lawyer Kali Caesar came a week after, I was also appointed together with my colleague Dennis Chumesi. When we interrogated the issues, we were told by the finance department that then managing director instructed that they should pull out all those monies. And we asked what those monies were used for. And we're told they claim they use part of the monies to pay for some suppliers and salaries. Meanwhile, you know that even the name of the account is bus acquisition account.
So why do you
use
It's
self-explanatory.
Sure.
You don't use bus acquisition accounts funds for payment of salaries or payment of your suppliers.
That's right. Yeah.
So over there, pure misapplication of funds. So immediately lawyer Kali Caesar took over, and when I also joined together with my brother Dennis, we wanted to do, or we planned to do, a nationwide tour to ascertain the true states of Metro Mass, so that we don't become like armchair managers sitting at the head office when we have no knowledge of what is really happening across the various branches or across the branches. So my brother, the journey took us to Abepo Junction.
Okay. Abepo Junction in Kumasi, yes.
Where we have our terminal.
Exactly.
Where 2-3 persons came and requested to have a meeting with us because they were told that management had come from head office. Lawyer Kali Caesar, myself, we gave them the audience only for them to tender in some receipts. And on the receipts, they claim that those buses, some of the buses parked there, were allocated to them as auction. On the face of those receipts, then shockingly, we realized that a whole bus was sold at 2,500 Ghana cedis.
I can hear one of my team members saying,
to the extent that
2,500 cedis. Aaron, before you continue, let's put this in perspective. What is the average cost of a bus?
Well, some of the buses were VDL buses.
Yes.
If my memory can set me right, the VDL, the VDL buses. Let me also take our viewers back a bit.
Right.
The VDL buses, those agreements. We had a memorandum of understanding with Netherlands.
Okay.
So they have branches in Holland and Belgium, and from the report, I'm told those agreements were deepened, especially during the first part of President Mills' blessed memory and President Mahama. So there was an agreement. So those agreements or those MOU, in fact, since time immemorial, we have that historical relationship with them. Those VDL buses, from the reports that I've cited, the price of those VDL buses is little above 200,000 euros.
200,000
euros. Yes.
And now it is being auctioned as scrap. Obviously, it will not be in the same states.
Of course.
But from 200,000 euros, one may be wondering how deteriorating it can get to the extent that we can auction it for what? 2,500 Ghana cedis, not even euros.
No.
Okay, please go ahead.
So, on the face of the receipt, in some cases, we realized that they did group auction sales, as they put it.
Right.
So, we interrogated to find out what is the meaning of group auction sales, only to realize that on the face of one receipt, the person pays 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Quantity of buses allocated, then 2. You see 2 against it.
Wow.
Meaning that person was given 2 buses at a cost of 5,000
Ghana cedis, making a unit cost of 2,500.
So if you do a layman's calculation, divide 2.9 million by 313 buses.
That's right.
You realize averagely each bus costs about 8,000 Ghana cedis.
Less than 10,000.
Less than 10,000 Ghana cedis. So clearly at Abepo Junction, that was our first blow. We realized that indeed Ghana is bleeding. Metro Mass is leaking. So from there, we realized that on the face of our books, most of the buses were packed. Even right in front of our nose at Abepo Junction, 4 buses were packed, all because on those buses one needed just a tie, others at the time needed just about 2 ties.
And because of that,
those buses were packed, just affecting our operations as a company. So when we returned back to Accra, the MD, together with myself and my colleague Dennis and management, we took a swift action to make sure that a bus should not be parked simply because of a tie. Then going into our books, we realized that our fleet level has gone all-time low in the history of the company. Currently, we are routing averagely 115 buses.
115 buses. I predicted 180 buses. 115
buses. And when we came, we realized close to about 85 buses were parked, and those buses could be serviceable, but due to lack of maintenance culture, negligence of duty, ineptitude, you realize those buses were parked.
115, Harun, this is across the country.
Across the country.
Good, not just
and currently, the active operational branches of Metro Mass across the country, numbers up to 16. We're supposed to be routing across Ghana, the whole Ghana. We're supposed to be routing about 385 routes. Currently, we are routing just 85 routes.
Wow.
So we have close to over 300 routes that we are not routing at the moment. All because our fleet level has gone all-time low in the history of the company. Surprisingly, the last 7 months of the Mahama administration, when we came, this is also the moment that the company is recording the highest ever revenue in the history of the company.
Still with the 115.
Just operating 115 buses.
Okay.
How did this happen? When we came, if you remember, or if you can cast your mind back, in 2016, under President Mahama, we actually launched a software payment platform called Tap and Go.
Right.
Unfortunately, the project, couldn't see, or at the time the project didn't see the light of day, simply because of change of government. So when our brothers came in, they took, that payment platform of a solution to 45% coverage across the country. As we speak, currently, when we came, President Mahama gave us a performance contract of 6 months that we should make sure that we automate the whole of Ghana in terms of our operational route points.
Right.
So that we go purely cashless. So that we will be able to reduce or eradicate the hand-to-hand or the human contact.
Right.
Because the hand-to-hand transaction gives room for pilfering, stealing, and all manner of leakages. Within a matter of 2 months, I can confidently report to our viewers that currently, Metro Mass, we have covered over 98% across the country. And that has really contributed to the revenue collection or the revenue gains that we have made within the last 6-7 months of the Mahama administration. As we speak, just last month, we recorded 14.1 million Ghana cedis.
Okay.
Last 2 months, we recorded 15.2 million Ghana cedis. Our revenue trajectory, has graduated ever since we took office from 12 million, 13 million, 14 million, 15 million, 14 million, 15 million, with just average routing of 115 buses. Meanwhile, same period under review, particular reference to the month of June.
Right.
Last year, under the previous government, they routed close to over 250 buses. According to them and according to the books, they generated 9.3 million Ghana cedis.
And you have generated?
50. At the time, even just last month, we generated 14.1 million. 14. Last 2 months, we generated 15.2 million.
Okay.
When, like I said, they routed about 250 buses.
Yeah.
Last year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And according to them, on the face of the books, they claim to have generated, that was 9.3 million. Revenue to fuel, according to them, was 5.3 million. So take 5.3 million. Sorry, 5.7 million.
Okay.
And they generated 9.3 million. So take 5.7 million from 9.3 million. You'll be left with little above 3 million.
Sure.
Salaries alone for Metro Mass staff, a staff strength of about 1,200 across the country, was little above 3 million. Excluding maintenance, cost of spare parts, Because the cost of spare parts for the month of June alone, in their books, they recorded about 3 million. So that's how come they couldn't pay salaries. Right. When we came, salaries were in the arrears of 3 months. President Mahama admonished us. Now that the books are looking good, we are fully automated, our system will tap and go. We should quickly clear the arrears. And I can confidently report to our viewers that those 3 months arrears have been cleared. Again, the last time our workers were appraised was somewhere around 2016, according to the records. As we speak, appraisal is currently underway, of which we are hopeful that by next month, the full implementation will take place.
Right.
Currently, our workers' salary has been increased. The critical staff here means the drivers,
yes,
our conductors,
yes,
and the mechanics.
That's right.
Their salaries have been increased by 25%. Other workers or the senior staff, as we put it, their salaries have also been increased by 20%. Currently, in as much as we are thinking, planning, strategizing to increase our fleet level, if you come around the country, the states of our terminal points is in a sorry state. The state of our terminal point is nothing to write home about. Once again, as new management, with the support of the president, God willing, this month, a new terminal, a short cutting will be done in Tamale.
Okay.
On our Tamale, on our terminal points.
Right. Right.
This new terminal, the short cutting will be done by President Mahama. The model or the composition of this new terminal has a parking bay, a state-of-the-art clinic, a restaurant. We also have a guest house where our dedicated travelers, those who have to do night travel, when they get there, they can, can get a place to rest. We also have a small place for our parking bay.
Okay.
A decent waiting shed for our passengers. And this terminal will be a model which will be replicated across the country.
Harun, I'm not cutting you, but it looks like you've given us a very beautiful picture, the current state of it.
Sure.
You've told us what you came to inherit. And from all the things you are saying, it is so clear that you didn't come to inherit anything good.
Sure.
It wasn't so good. But from what you are again saying, it looks like there seems to be some significant progress.
Sure.
I want to find out the increment you talked about.
Sure.
Prior to you giving this increment to your workers, when last was there an increment?
At Metromas?
Yes.
Like I told you, the last time they had increments was that was somewhere around, in fact, that the decision took place in 2023.
Okay.
But the actual implementation took place November last year.
That's 2024.
2024.
Just a month to the
Unfortunately, they didn't pay.
So there was just an announcement, but there wasn't any payments done.
So the last time they had increment of salaries was around 2016.
Right. 2016.
2016.
Interesting. So 2016 all the way to 2025.
So they attempted to do an increment few weeks to elections. In fact, they got the approval around March.
Sure.
But the full implementation was supposed to have taken place around November.
That's right.
But unfortunately, they began the full implementation because it was 3 months.
Sure.
So they exited power. So that was the 3 months I told you about. I talked to you about.
Did.
So we came to inherit that 3 months. So that's how come we paid for it.
You paid for it. There's a number of messages, a lot of messages coming in here. It is time for me to bring in my guest. But there are 2 or 3 more questions I will personally ask you. But let's engage our guest here. This one says, Mr. Wilson, I am Mohammed Wasiru from Achem Osenase. Since independence, every government has bought buses for transport, but the handlers are the big problem. They work and spend their income. That is what he says. This one says, Mr. Wilson, the MMT's biggest challenge is the maintenance. There's a lot of parked vehicles, buses in various regional depots, rotting just like that, wasting our taxpayers' money. I agree, and this is just one example of what you indicated, that in Kumasi, for instance, a bus has been parked just because of a tie. Maintenance problem. Mr. Wilson, Metro Mass Transit is very important, but how to take care of them is the problem. I'm Hussein Musa from Kumasi. This one says, I'm enjoying your program. Please, can persons with disability get a vacancy at MMT terminals? Where should we send our applications if yes? And this is coming from B from Kaswa. You are jotting that this one because I need an answer for the person who sent it. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I believe no country can survive or be efficiently developed without easy accessibility of transport systems. The human resource can be improved in a country. If the human resource can be improved in a country, it depends on its transport availability to make movement easy. You didn't add your name. Mr. Wilson, this program should have been done in Chi for Ghanaians to understand what went on under MPP. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Our transport system is bad or becoming very bad now. Passenger struggles too much to travel anywhere in this country. Nowadays, you see a lot of people at bus stations and bus stops struggling to go to work or travel from one end to the other. Trotro drivers are taking advantage of the situation to overcharge passengers. And instead of going straight to Accra from Oyarifa, for instance, they will load short distances. Meanwhile, they are going to Accra. And if you are in the same bus or in the same car, you have to pay again from one end to the other until you get to your final destination. This is a very bad attitude of the trotro drivers. I've heard a lot about this instance. We beg the government to bring more buses to help curb this situation. We are suffering too much to go to work and home after work. Also, we beg the government to include transportation fares to all angles in the country when the budget is read to save us from the private individuals' hands for charging lorry fares any way they like. Thank you. This is Aaron Bebe Sukura from Legon. Okay. Mr. Wilson, ask your guests what they are doing to put these thieves before the court. Secondly, why are the same people at post? Tell him they are also to be blamed. What are they doing at Metro Mass Transport offices? This is Fred from Wager. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm Joseph from Apollonia in the Pon Katamanso. Please, a lot has happened in the Ekufuado Baumia era, and we, the grassroots, are waiting for a better action to be taken against them to set as a deterrent to our appointees. Mr. Wilson, there are so many buses broken down here in Cape Coast. Right now, the bus terminal is virtually empty, and this is Gilbert from Cape Coast. Have you been to the Cape Coast terminal? Sure, you have. Sure. All right. This one says, good evening, Mr. Wilson. Can we also know what is happening at the Ayalolo bus service? Okay, that's also an interesting area. I have some few informations there. Maybe at the right time we'll talk about that too. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I'm Solomon Jagri from Kunsu. His Excellency John Mahama is performing wonderfully well, to my opinion. He needs another term. My regards to Teachers Forum, NDC members, especially those in Ahafo and North, South, West. Okay. This one says, Mr. Wilson, I'm Solomon. Okay, I think this has come twice. This one says, point of correction. After President J.A. Kufuor, MMT had 144 buses. MMT, okay, the word is not clear. During the time of J.A. Mills. I didn't get the last, that word, but you said, point of correction, after President J.A. Kufuor, MMT had 144 buses, and then MMT something during the time of J.A. Mills. I'll come back to the messages, they keep coming, but these are the comments and the questions that have come. Before I ask you my question, there was one that talked about disability. Do you have, first off, how friendly is your services to persons with disability?
I think we have a room where we give them some respite in terms of our rates. If I say rates, that's the price for the first.
Okay.
Not only persons with disability, even the minors. If you say the minor or the minors, we talk of those under 18 years and the school-going children. Yes, we give them some room so they will also be able to feel the better part of government intervention.
Yeah.
And as you are aware, we are pro-poor state transport company. We are supposed to be routing or serving the underserved communities.
That's right.
And the interests of the Ghanaian traveler or the interests of our market women, the interests of the ordinary Ghanaian is at the behest of our topmost priority. So we have a room for persons with disability in the scheme of our affairs. And again, we also have some of our staffers who are persons with disability who we engage as and when the need arise,
right,
as and when their services are required. Okay. We do not discriminate.
Sure.
And we consider them as persons who are also important and matters most in the scheme of affairs.
Are you currently recruiting? Because the person want to know if he or she should submit an application.
Yes. It depends on where she is. She can.
I think she said Kaswa.
Okay, so she can route her application through the nearest branch operational point. And Kaswa, the nearest branch operational point, obviously, will be at Kanishin. So she can route her application through the nearest branch points.
Very well.
For consideration.
Very well. So that is the answer you are getting from the deputy managing director. There are a number of challenges, obviously. You are doing well per the report that you've given. The current state suggests to me that all is not lost. Or if it was getting lost some time back, at least under your leadership, led by lawyer Kali Caesar, it is so clear that, things are beginning to take shape. But it doesn't take away the fact that there are challenges. First off, has to do with the fleet depletion. So we have fleet depletion, we have aging buses. You rightly indicated that currently you are operating with 115 buses. Okay, so fleet depletion is there, aging buses is there. Then comes infrastructure and terminals in poor conditions. Renovation needs to be done. And the other parts when it comes to terminals being in poor condition has to do with encroachments. So it is also clear that most of your terminals are being encroached.
Yes.
I'll come to the other two, but these two main challenges, fleet depletion and aging buses. Second one, infrastructure and terminals in poor condition, encroachment. What are you guys doing about it?
Like Raleigh said, our fleet level, yes, on record, has gone all-time low in the history of the company.
Yes.
So if you look at our balance sheet, it is on the strength of that and the potential Metro Mass, presents. That is how come the president has directly intervened. Because like I said, currently we have 16 regional capitals in Ghana.
Yeah.
Over 260 districts. So if you check up, population growth is also on the rise. So now demand for public transport is also very high.
Very high, yeah.
And the transport space has evolved. Gone were the days, our forebearers used to board Watonchene, Arrow Glass,
Yeah.
Now we've gotten to the stage, even with the current 63-seater capacity buses that we are routing.
Yeah.
In some cases, the bus could be at the terminal point for more than 2-3 hours before it gets full. So they say that when the time changes, you must also change your ways.
That's right.
It is in the light of this that the president is heavily supporting us. God willing, like I said, around January, we'll be expecting our first fleets of the Toyota Hiace buses. We are bringing the short chassis buses Those short chassis buses, they are 15-seater.
Okay.
They will also be bringing 29-seater, that's the coastal buses. Around February, we'll be augmenting our fleet with Isuzu buses. The Isuzu compact is about 300 buses.
Okay.
Around February, first 100 buses will arrive. Then the remaining 200 buses will be staggered along the way. When we are done with that, we also plan to bring in what we called metro cargo services.
Okay.
From where we sit now, assuming you have some goods that you want to send to maybe a relative in Kumasi.
Sure.
All what you need to do, God willing, if you're able to get those trucks will come in the form of sizes, shapes, and capacity.
Okay.
In terms of tonnage.
Right.
So we will be bringing in 10 tons capacity, 20 tons capacity, and 30 tons capacity. So as you are here, if you have goods to be sent to maybe a relative in Kumasi, we will display a toll number.
Okay.
That will be made available to everybody or all persons. It will also be on various platforms and streams. So you just go on the site, you pick the number and call.
Yeah.
Once you call the number, we have smaller short chassis trucks now called Abosu Kamachu.
Sure.
Those small trucks will come directly to your doorsteps, just at the studio here. When they come, whatever goods you have, they have mobile weighing machine in. They weigh your staffs right in front of you.
Yeah.
Then you also be issued with a tap and go card. That card is your payment card.
Sure.
So you load some money on the card. So when the gentleman or our agent comes, you put your staffs on the weighing machine. Then it is weighed.
Sure.
You know the weight of your staffs. The weight comes with a rate. So then you insert your you then insert your card into the POS machine. Then it swipes.
When are we expecting this role? When are we expecting this to start operating?
It's part of the 500 buses.
The 500 buses
announced.
Okay.
So the first trucks that will be arriving, about 50 trucks.
Sure.
But these 50 trucks will come in the form of 10 tons, 20 tons, 30 tons.
And that's beginning January.
God willing.
Great.
Yes. So once those smaller chassis, Abosu Kamachu, comes to pick your staffs, it will drop your staffs at the head office, where they will be loaders to load your staffs into, say, the 10 tonnage truck or 20 tonnage truck or the 30 tonnage truck, which has been assigned to move to Kumasi.
Right.
So once your staffs get to Kumasi Abreport Junction, the receiver will be called.
Okay.
That you have a luggage with us.
Okay.
If the receiver cannot go to Abreport Junction, there's also another small Abosu kind short chassis truck there that will carry the staffs and deliver it to the doorstep of the receiver.
Okay.
And it will come with a little charge.
Okay.
So these are some of the interventions
that you have
been done elsewhere.
Very well.
That's the door-to-door approach.
Sure.
Or the door-to-door type of cargo management. That is what Metro Mass very soon.
Harun, have you considered, from what you said, it is more of, and that is one thing that has been taking place over the past years. It is more of the buses waiting for it to be full, then it moves. So it delays. And a lot of people find it difficult. In fact, I have had an encounter with Metro Mass some time back. I didn't want to drive, so I walked to the terminal. And trust me, it took me
about 3 hours.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. I told myself that I would never do this again. I'll never do this again. Instead of waiting for the bus to be full, why don't we do what other countries are doing, where the bus will run on time?
Yes, that's
not on the number of people who are in the bus.
So that's the more reason why currently, if you check, I told you that we will bring in the Toyota Hiss,
right?
The smaller chassis,
right?
Those are 15-seater capacity.
Okay.
And the coastal buses are 29-seater capacity. The Isuzu buses are also 29 capacity seater. These buses will be mixed with the traditional ones.
Okay.
So, like I told you, the transport space has evolved.
That's right.
So, those within the middle class will have a fair share of the Toyota Coaster and the Toyota Haze.
I get you.
So, if you want to move from, say, Cape Coast to Takoradi, within that short space of time, you can board either the Toyota Haze or
and
the
then
Coaster.
go with it.
Whilst our mothers, who are traders, who are petty traders, sellers at the markets, at the close of market transaction, they can also get their staffs, into the bigger bus.
Sure.
And those buses will convey their staffs to their original or natural location.
I get you.
Or their villages.
Very well.
So that all persons will have a fair share of this transport system arrangement that government want to roll out. So nobody will be left out.
Very well.
But we are just making sure that all persons and individuals' unique interests will be addressed. So the middle class will have their fair share. Then the upper class, whoever you are, once you get to the terminal point, you will have a comfortable bus to get you to your destination.
That's right. There's one other challenge. I mean, we are talking about the challenges
and talking about the rush hour.
Sure.
The rush hour.
Sure.
We are currently doing rerouting of our Accra operation. Metro Mass.
Isn't it the same that was done under Ekufuado?
Yes.
Where they designated a certain lane for the buses. Is it different from what you're talking about?
You see, sometimes we can choose to be deceptive,
right?
Or in the interest of trying to woo the people of Ghana for votes. How can anybody tell me that, you just get up one day and say that you have marked some place for buses to get there on time for people to board? That is not the beginning of addressing those challenges. If you know the operations of the transport system, and also if you studied Accra, the human traffic, and how to route it. First of all, we need strong laws.
Okay.
Through the Ministry of Works, Ministry of Roads and Highways, so that we have some dedicated routes specifically earmarked for those timely movement of those buses. From what point and across what points. That should be the beginning. So what the previous government did?
That's not the same.
No.
It is the same, but this one is going to be done in the right way.
So,
is that what you're saying?
So in fact, we've initiated some talks
with
the roads and highways.
Okay.
So there are some dedicated routes.
Okay.
And some dedicated points, will be earmarked.
Sure.
So you can see on the street, this is a bus standpoint.
Sure.
Around this time.
Yeah.
You see, no bus can park on that lane with the exception of Metro Mass bus.
Sure.
As you speak, we are trying to reroute our buses. Metro Mass, we're supposed to be doing inter and intra.
Yeah.
Currently, our powers has somehow been petitioned or divided to STC and Ayalolo.
Sure.
STC is doing intercity.
Exactly.
Ayalolo is also doing intracity. But if we check the scope and operations of Metro Mass, we're supposed to be doing inter and intra.
Yeah.
So currently we are trying to reroute between Kaneshi to Circle, rush hour. Then do Oyarafa early in the morning from 4:30, 5 o'clock, then to ministries.
Okay.
So we are studying Accra, the human traffic, so that we'll be able to serve the people of Ghana in the best way, that will be able to bring hope and confidence.
Harun, I want to discuss briefly staff morals, conditions of service, and operational management.
Sure.
But let's be a bit fair and also go back to our viewers, because there's a lot of questions coming in whilst you take in some water. Good evening, Mr. Wilson, Senior Lawson. Okay, it's really interesting listening to your guest from MMT. I listened to Lawyer Caesar the last time. There's hope going forward. I urge management to stay focused for God and country, and may Allah grant them the goodwill Long live MMT. And this is coming from Muniru, ARB in Wa. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Harun is a great analyst and keep resetting the Metro Mass. And this is from Eugene Koforidia. Okay, good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Foster Ayariga from Tamale. I want to suggest something to Metro Mass Bus Bolga Tamale routes. Can they get a minibus to run Bolga Tamale routes and leave the long buses to run Bolga Kumasi because the private ones are making money? I think you talked about that, so it's in line. Okay. I am Elijah Kwesi Tay. I'm watching you live from Fantiakwa North, inside Asirebu So. The MPP government has destroyed everything in Ghana, including Metro Mass Company Limited. Let's reset our country together. Greetings to the good people of Fantiakwa North, especially Siame Thomas. Okay. Mr. Wilson, my name is William from Kwewu Tafo. Please, will there be a bus from Kumasi to Swaman Dadieso? Do we have any plans for that?
Of course.
Okay, so yes, William, there's going to be. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. Dumevi from Amanfrom. A 75-passenger bus, here to say a Metro Mass Transit bus, declared to be scrapped, supposedly should not have an engine, no steer, no seats, and no tires. And this scrapped bus is sold not less than 12,500 Ghana cedis. Well, so unfortunately, according to Harun, we did 2,500. 2,500. Mr. Wilson, I'm highly disappointed about the auction of the buses. How can a whole bus cost 2,500 cedis while our engine costs more than 20,000 cedis? They should be brought to justice. And this is Richard from Koli Gono, Accra. Please, Mr. Wilson, good evening. Can he explain why they are not increasing their junior staff salaries for about a year now? And if he can do that explanation in Twi. But the senior staffs have been receiving increments in their salaries. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. I am Deborah from Adansi. Yes, you did.
Junior staff salaries have been increased by 25%.
That's right, you did.
And the senior staff by 20%.
That's right, you did. So there are a number of messages, but yes, we've really gone beyond time. Let me just do one or two. Let me see which one I can pick. Good evening, Mr. Wilson and your able panelists. Please, in fact, the previous government killed us in all. Okay, I thought I could get something that is a question for him to answer. Let's see. Good evening, Mr. Wilson. My name is Paul. Hello. From Obuase, Adanse West. And I'm listening in Ghana. No president. I take, oh gosh. So unfortunately, I really can't. I don't. Good evening, Mr. Wilson, and your able panelists. Please, in fact, the previous government killed us in all the states, owned enterprises, and must be prosecuted and jailed, especially who told us here, okay, that's such a political, okay, it looks like I was trying to sip in a bit more messages, but a lot of the messages are here. I want to appreciate all of you who are sending in messages, and of course, all that is coming. A lot are still coming. I'm sure Harun probably will do a part 2. We can look for appropriate time, and then we'll do a part 2. So all messages coming through, I promise you will arrange for a part 2, and then we'll look at that very, very well. I'll read your messages, but I want to appreciate you for sending in your messages and making this very interesting. But the last question I want to find out from you, staff morale, conditions of service, and operational management. What structures are you putting in place? Because human beings must work and work happily. If they are not, their morals are not being boosted so well, they will end up messing up the vision. That's the first thing. Then the second thing I will also want to know from you is, under what circumstance do we declare a bus unworthy for which it must go to for auction?
You see,
briefly on this too.
You see, thank you so much. On the issue of declaring a bus unserviceable,
yes,
a lot goes into it.
Okay,
but unfortunately, with the evidences that we have gathered and the ones that we've seen, honestly, some of them are very shocking and mind-blowing. Can you just imagine that ever since we came, we've intercepted synopsis of reports, some confidential, others do not even want, to declare even who they are. They just want to remain anonymous. In some cases, the allegations of a bus could be there, very strong enough.
Right.
Then deliberately, because somebody has decided that by hook or by crook, some buses must be put on auction sales. So there is what we call a grand collusion.
Right.
So deliberately, they engage in what you call cannibalization. Cannibalization is whereby maybe this bus has just arrived. The bus has a problem with springs. Instead of us to deal with the springs, we allow the bus to park.
Okay.
The bus came with a problem with spring.
Right.
Then another bus comes. This bus needs boot and nut. Then they will remove the bus that came with a minor fault. They remove other parts
and then
use it to go and service this bus.
That's sad.
So by the time you say jack, deliberately, they remove some essential parts. They call it cannibalization. Deliberately. Then they will say that, okay, as for this bus, let's remove this, let's remove that, so that at least we'll be able to sell it.
That's right.
And another striking thing that comes, you do a part 2.
Sure, we will.
You see, the revelations that are coming are so serious.
Really?
There is behind the scenes trade. One person wants to be so rich, buy properties at East Legon, buy big landed properties and big cars. Then he allows the person who has been given the auction or who has been given the allocation to go and pay just 2,500 Ghana cedi for a bus. Then the person, some way, somehow, who gave out the allocation is dirty rich.
That's sad.
You understand?
I get you.
So that is the level that when the bus gets to that level, they remove essential parts.
Exactly.
Then deliberately they declare those buses unserviceable.
Then they move it to scrap.
In the case of motivation for our workers,
exactly, very important.
I just told you the last time appraisals were done for our workers was around 2016. The last time they had salary increments, those increments were done, but it was not effected. We came, it became an albatross.
Right.
We paid. We said we do part 2. Can you just imagine? As of 2018, statutory payments for our workers, PF, their PFs, and SNETs were deliberately not paid. In fact, on the face of their pay slips, deductions were made, but those monies never reached the service provider. That's how come at the time you see most of our workers when they go on retirement and they go to Glyco, our service provider. Glyco tells them go back to Metro Mass. Metro Mass owns us. For the past 2018, they are not paying your contribution. And when the person is coming to Metro Mass, the person has in his hands a bottle of Schnapp and some traditional eggs, all in the name of cleaning cases on Metro Mass. Today, as we speak,
that's interesting.
Today we are paying the old arrears plus penalty and the current, because in 2024 around March, Accra High Court slapped Metro Mass with a fine, and the court actually described what permeated then as criminal.
Harun, we'll come back. In fact, it is becoming intense and so interesting. One of the few times where we go beyond 9 o'clock, and you know why? It's just because the platform at that moment becomes so intense and so interesting that we find it difficult to pause. But as I indicated, this is in the interest of Ghana.
Sure.
We are going to do an arrangement, and as soon as practicable, we'll continue with the part 2. All you need to do is to stay glued to your transformative program, because this is the only platform where we discuss national issues dispassionately with the intention of creating a secured future, if not for our sake, for the sake of our next generation. We will, and we will move into the next segment And that will also be covered by the next, the part 2, where we'll be looking at what proactive structures are being put in place so that all the things that Harun is saying, so scary things that Harun is saying, it will not repeat itself. For us, that is the most important thing. And so we'll be looking at that. And I'm very sure that we'll be having the part 2 very soon. Harun, thank you so much for making
Many
time.
thanks, my brother.
Thank you
Always
so much.
Thanks
Yes.
so much.
Thank you too. All too soon, this is where time will allow us. I want to thank each and every one of you, particularly you, the viewer, all those who are still sending in messages. There are a lot of messages that are still coming through, and want to say thank you so much. I promise you, your message will be the first message to be read when we pursue the part 2. Patrick Ashford Bwedu, one of my ardent, committed viewer, working with Radio Gold, I want to say good evening and thank you for consistently being part of this platform. This is where time will allow us. I am still your host, Emmanuel Wilson, and we've had a great guest in the person of Harun Apau Redu, who is the Deputy Managing Director of Metro Mass Transit. So we come your way again next week. Next week, I'll be bringing you some products also, some products that you will love, making reference to Asanteman Fufu and some few other products that I want to introduce to you. You love them. So I come your way next week. All I can say for now is good night.